Hello, it is Explorer. Thanks for joining us again and welcome back to our channel. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to thank you for watching another informative video on our YouTube channel. Today we are looking at the Nobel laureates with regards to the Africans who have won this prestigious award. So without any much delay, we should just go straight into it. But before we get into that, let me just give you a quick background. With regards to the Nobel laureate, since the inception of the Nobel Peace Prize, that was in 1901, there have been 11 Nobel laureates that came from the African continent, counting, selected by the Norwegian Nobel Committee. The Nobel Peace Prize is one of the 5 annual international awards vested in a number of categories, which recognize in different areas that could include academics, cultural and also scientific research, and different areas. Moving ahead, in this episode, we shall look at those Africans who have achieved these particular categories. Today, we shall also align the numbers of those Africans who, for one reason or the other, have actually made the continent proud. Number 1, Albert LUTHULI from South Africa. Albert LUTHULI was the first African and the first person from outside Europe and Americas to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. LUTHULI was awarded the prestigious award in 1960 for his role in championing for the non-violent resistance to racial discrimination in South Africa. The Nobel Committee described LUTHULI as a man of noble bearings, charitable, intolerance, and also hatred. He adamant in his demands for equality and peace among all men. LUTHULI was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi at the time, based on his philosophy and non-violence approach. He became the spokesperson for a campaign of civil disobedience, and that was directed against South Africa's policy of racial segregation. He spearheaded several demonstrations and strikes against white minority government. Number 2, ANWAR SADAT. That was 1978. He was from Egypt. ANWAR SADAT of Egypt was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize together with Menachem Begin, the Prime Minister of Israel at the time. The two were awarded in 1978 for their contribution to the two-frame agreements on peace in the Middle East and peace between Egypt and Israel, which were signed at Camp David in the USA then. That was in 1978. Born the 25th of December 1918, Anwar Sadat was Egypt's third president from 1970. During his presidency, he changed the political and economic landscape of Egypt. One of his notable changes was his effort towards building a comprehensive peace agreement with Israel and return on Sinai to Egypt, which Israel had occupied in the Six-Day War. Number 3, Desmond Tutu. If you are new to this channel, we would encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Desmond Tutu is a world-renowned preacher, human rights activist, and strident voice against apartheid. Desmond Tutu hailed from South Africa. He got the award in 1984. The retired Anglican bishop won the Nobel Peace Prize for his effort in resolving and ending apartheid in South Africa. The Nobel Committee saluted him for his clear views and also his fearless stand, characteristics to point that out, and also which had made him a unifying symbol for all African freedom fighters. Known as the voice of the voiceless, black South Africans, he was one outspoken critic of the apartheid regime. Tutu supported economic boycott of South Africans while constantly encouraging reconciliation between various factions associated with apartheid. He was born in 1931 in Klipkouw, the Transvaal, this is in South Africa. He went on to become the first black Anglican Archbishop of both Cape Town and Johannesburg. Moving forward, the next person on this amazing list is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela needs no introduction. He got this in 1993, also from South Africa. Nelson Mandela is one of the most celebrated human rights symbols of the 20th century. He is a man whose dedication to the liberties of his people inspired human rights advocates throughout the world. Born in 1918, Mandela was elected one of the leaders of the youth wing of the ANC at the time, the African National Congress Liberation Movement around the 1950s. When the country white minority government prohibited the ANC in the 1960s, Mandela became convinced that armed struggle was inevitable. Inspired by the guerrilla wars in Algeria and also in Cuba, he organized a military underground movement that engaged in sabotage. As of 1962, he was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment for high treason and conspiracy against the state. From 1964 to 1982, he was confined to a notorious prison in the Robben Islands, together with several other resistance leaders at the time. He was then moved to a prison on the mainland until he was released in 1990. After the release, Mandela intensified his battle against oppression. He was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993, jointly with the then President Frederick de Klerk, for their work for peace, termination of apartheid regime, and for laying the foundation for a new democratic South Africa. Mandela became the South African's democratic elected president in 1994 and held office until when he retired in 1999. If you are new to this channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Moving forward, the next on this list is Frederick William de Klerk. That was in 1993. F.W. de Klerk was South Africa's president during apartheid. After assuming office in 1989, he called for a non-racist South African and announced his policy of reforms. He hoped to create a suitable climate for negotiations, which was then apartheid, and brings about a new constitutional dispensation for South Africa based on the principle of one person, one vote. He then lifted the ban on the ANC and released Nelson Mandela. After the release of Mandela, negotiations together with other party leaders were held for the peaceful end of apartheid and transition to democratic rule. He was awarded the Peace Prize in 1993 together with Nelson Mandela for their effort to bring reforms in South Africa. F.W. de Klerk was born in 1936, so to say, in Johannesburg, to the Senator John Clark at the time, and a leading politician who became minister in that particular country. Moving ahead, the next amazing African who has won this prestigious award in our assessment is Kofi Annan. He won this in 2001. He's hailed from Ghana. As of 2001, Ghana's Kofi Annan, the United Nations Secretary, was awarded Secretary General, so to point that out, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize jointly with the United Nations for their work for a better organized and more peaceful world. Kofi Annan was born in Ghana in 1938. We should be noted that Kofi Annan is of late and is of blessed memory at the moment. He served as one of the 7 Secretary Generals of the United Nations from January 1997 up to 2006 December. He received the Nobel Peace Prize for having revitalized the United Nations and for having given priority to human rights. The Nobel Committee also recognized his commitment to struggle to also support the African continent in different ways to solving international terrorism and other areas where the United Nations was effective at the time. Moving forward, the next on our list is Wangari Martaai of Kenya. If you are new to this channel, we will encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Wangari Martaai, environmentalist and founder of the Green Belt movement, received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2004 for her contributions to sustainable development, democracy and peace. The Nobel Committee acknowledged her efforts in standing up courageously against the former oppressive regime in Kenya. Her unique forms of action contributed to drawing attention to political oppression, nationally and also internationally. They term her as the inspiration for many of its fights for democratic rights and especially the encouragement to women. Born in 1940, Wangari Martaai was the first woman from Africa to be honored with the Nobel Peace Prize. Moving ahead, the next on our assessment is Mohamed ELBARADEI of Egypt. He got this in 2005. Mohammed ELBARADEI was the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, received the Nobel Peace Prize jointly with the UN's nuclear watchdog. The IAEA at the time for their efforts to prevent nuclear energy from being used for military purposes and to ensure that nuclear energy for peaceful purposes is used in safest possible ways. The Nobel Committee noted that ELBARADEI had done much in strengthening the organization and also increased accessions to nuclear non-proliferation regimes. Mohammed ELBARADEI was born in Egypt and in 1942. Before becoming head of this international organization, he had worked for a number of years as Egyptian politician and also at the United Nations. Moving ahead, the next on our assessment for those Africans who made the continent proud and also have won this prestigious prize is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He got this from Liberia actually. That was in 2011. Liberia's president was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize as a former president, to point that out, in 2011, alongside peace activists Lima Boade and Tawakkoli Coman for their non-violent struggle for the safety of women and for women's right to full participation in peace-building works and also in different areas. Sirleaf was elected as Liberia's president in 2005, just 2 years after the bloody civil war had ravaged the country for more than a decade and had just ended. The first female head of state ever to be democratically elected in Africa, she was worked to promote peace, reconciliation, and socio-economic development. If you are new to this channel, we would encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different networks. The next on our list is Lima Guebwedi from Liberia. He got this in 2011. Lima Guebwedi is a women's rights champion, and she received the Nobel Peace Prize jointly with her president alongside Tawakkoli Coman from Yemen. During the civil war that ravaged Liberia, Boedi called together also to point out, together with women from different ethnic and religious groups in the fight for peace. Dressed in a white t-shirt, they held daily demonstrations and fish market in Monrovia. After having collected money, she led a delegation of Liberian women to Ghana to put pressure on the warring factions during the peace talk process. This played a decisive role in ending the war. Guebwedi also worked to help those who suffered psychological trauma during the war in Liberia, and which include also child soldier. Moving forward, the last on our list, but not the least, so to say, it's the National Dialogue Quartet in Tunisia. Moving ahead, the National Dialogue Quartet is a group of 4 organizations that were central in the attempts to build a pluralist democratic institute in the wake of revolutions in Tunisia in 2011. The quartet is made up of the Tunisian General Labour Union, the Tunisian Confederation of Industry, the Trade and Handicraft, the Tunisian Human Rights League, and also the Tunisian Order of Lawyers. The group succeeded in creating a peaceful dialogue through a mediating role. The quartet allowed political and religious divides to be bridged, and also democratic development followed. They were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its decisive contribution to building of a pluralistic democratic, and in Tunisia in particular, in the wake of the Jasmine Revolution that happened as of 2011. If you are new to this channel, we want to thank you for watching. Hopefully we've been able to inform you with regards to those Africans or could be organizations in the African continent that's contributed based on their contribution in different areas, and to be able to make some significant progress, and their work has been recognized by the Nobel laureate. For now, thanks very much for watching. If you feel that we were able to point out those areas and included those Africans and organizations that developed and contributed to the continent in a whole lot of ways, we would like to hear from you from the comment section. But if you feel that we were also spot on, we would like to let you leave some comment there. For now, thanks very much for watching the Explorer. Hopefully you can watch our other informative video on our platform. For now, we see you in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye bye.